Imagine picking up a rock, a solid sedimentary rock that took 140 million years to form. You crack it open, expecting a fossil or maybe just more stone. Instead, you find a piece of forged iron, a hammer. Mainstream history tells us a linear story. We started as hunter-gatherers and slowly worked our way up to the smartphone in your pocket. But the artifacts we're looking at today suggest that timeline is a lie. We are looking at OOPArts, out-of-place artifacts, objects that shouldn't exist according to the current archaeological dogma. Today on Signal 49, we aren't just looking at weird rocks. We are looking at the evidence of lost high technology and civilizations that were forgotten by time. From underground bunkers that could house 20,000 people to mechanical parts found in 500,000-year-old strata. If you've ever felt like there's a missing chapter in human history, you're in the right place. Number 1. The London Hammer, the anomaly. In 1936, near London, Texas, Max Hahn and his wife were hiking when they found a loose rock with wood protruding from it. When their son eventually smashed it open decades later, the world of archaeology was thrown into a tailspin. Inside was a 19th century style hammer, but here is where the logic of history breaks. The hammer was physically fused into a Cretaceous limestone concretion. That rock layer is estimated to be between 110 and 115 million years old. Think about the implications. If the rock formed around the hammer, that means someone was manufacturing high-purity iron while dinosaurs were still walking the earth. Metallurgical analysis of the hammerhead showed something even more baffling. It is 96.6% iron, 2.6% chlorine, and 0.74% sulfur. No carbon. In modern metallurgy, we use carbon to harden steel. To produce iron this pure without modern smelting techniques is, on paper, impossible. Is this a relic from a pre-flood civilization, or is our method of dating rocks fundamentally flawed? Number 2. Derinkuyu, the survival metropolis. Let's move from a small tool to a massive mystery. Deep beneath the soft volcanic ash of Cappadocia, Turkey, lies a feat of engineering that defies explanation. Derinkuyu. Discovered by accident in 1963 when a man knocked down a wall in his basement, this isn't just a cave, it's an 18-story underground skyscraper. We're talking about a facility that could support 20,000 people, complete with ventilation shafts that go 180 feet deep to provide fresh air to the lowest levels. But here is the specialist question. How did an ancient civilization excavate millions of tons of rock without a single collapse? The rock is soft, but it requires precision. If the pillars weren't calculated perfectly, the weight of the mountain would have crushed everyone inside. There are schools, wine cellars, and massive circular stone doors that can only be opened from the inside. Who were they hiding from? Some theorists suggest they weren't hiding from an army, but from a global cataclysm on the surface, perhaps a solar flare or a nuclear-level event that forced humanity into the Earth for generations. Number 3. The Siberian craters. The ground is breaking. While we look for mysteries in the past, a new one is opening up right now. In the Yamo Peninsula of Siberia, a name that literally translates to the end of the world, the Earth is exploding. Since 2013, over 17 massive craters have appeared. These aren't sinkholes, they are ejection sites. The Earth is being pushed out from the inside. Scientists claim it's methane gas caused by melting permafrost, but the sheer precision and the sounds reported by locals suggest something else. Witnesses have reported hearing a hum or mechanical vibrations before the ground shatters. In the US, we call these unidentified subterranean phenomena. Are these natural gas pockets, or is something deep within the crust changing? Some of these craters are 160 feet deep, revealing perfectly smooth walls that look almost scorched. If this is a natural process, why is it only happening now? Number 4. The San Pedro Mountains mummy, the hidden species. In 1932, Wyoming,
two miners named Cecil Main and Frank Carr were blasting for gold. They blew a hole into a granite wall and found a small 14-inch mummy sitting in a niche. This discovery, known as Pedro, challenged everything we know about human evolution. X-rays taken by the American Museum of Natural History showed a complete skeletal structure. This wasn't a child with a deformity, it was a miniature adult. It had a heavy brow, a flat nose, and a full set of teeth, including prominent canines. Local Shoshone legends speak of the Nimarigar, a race of tiny, aggressive people who lived in the mountains and used poisoned arrows. For decades, science dismissed this as a myth, but Pedro was real. Sadly, in 1950, the mummy was sold to a businessman and vanished. Without the physical specimen, mainstream archaeology has closed the case, but the X-rays remain as silent witnesses to a species that history wants to forget. Number 5. The Sabu Disk, Ancient Aerodynamics. If you go to the Cairo Museum, you'll see plenty of gold and statues, but in a quiet corner sits an object found in the tomb of Prince Sabu, dating back to 3000 BC. It's a disc made of meta silkstone, about 2 feet in diameter. It looks like a 3-bladed propeller or a high-tech valve. The problem? Egypt in 3000 BC supposedly hadn't even mastered the wheel yet, let alone complex aerodynamics. The stone it's made from, schist, is incredibly flaky and brittle. To carve those 3 thin, inward-curving lobes without breaking the stone would be nearly impossible with copper chisels. When modern engineers look at the Sabu disk, they don't see a fruit bowl, which is the official explanation. They see a component for a centrifugal pump or a mixer. Did the ancient Egyptians possess a technology that was later lost, or were they copying a divine object they saw in the hands of their gods? Number 6. The Longyu Caves, the Silent Machines. Returning to China, the Longyu Caves represent one of the greatest man-made mysteries on Earth. 24 caverns, all carved with the same 60-degree parallel lines. If you hired a construction crew today to carve these out using modern drills, it would take years. Yet there is not a single mention of them in any historical text. No records of the 1 million cubic meters of stone that had to be hauled away. Where did the rock go? More importantly, how did they light the caves? There are no soot marks on the ceilings from torches. To carve with that level of precision, you need light. If they didn't use fire, what did they use? The symmetrical patterns suggest a standardized tool, possibly a machine that worked through the rock with ease. Number 7. The Fuente Magna, the Transoceanic Evidence. We've been told that Columbus was the first to discover the Americas, but a large stone bowl found near Lake Titicaca, Bolivia, tells a different story. The Fuente Magna bowl is covered with characters that have been identified as Sumerian cuneiform. Sumer is in modern-day Iraq. Lake Titicaca is in the Andes Mountains. There is an entire ocean and a continent between them. How did a ritual bowl from the cradle of the civilization end up in the hands of the pre-Incan people? If this bowl is authentic, and many scholars believe it is, it proves that the ancient world was far more connected than we are allowed to believe. It suggests a global maritime civilization existed thousands of years before the Age of Discovery. Number 8. The Koso Artifact and the Mystery Egg. Finally, we look at the Koso Artifact, a spark plug found inside a 500,000-year-old geode. While skeptics claim it's a 1920s champion spark plug that got naturally encrusted, the mystery is the speed of the geological process. And then there's the Lake Winnipesaukee Mystery Egg, a perfectly smooth, dark stone with drilled holes so precise they look laser-cut. Found in 1872, long before portable power drills existed. These objects serve as a reminder: The ground beneath our feet is filled with the trash of civilizations we don't understand. The artifacts we discussed today, the London Hammer, the Sabu Disc, the cities of Derinkayu, they aren't just anomalies. They are the breadcrumbs of a lost history. When we look at them together, a picture begins to emerge. A picture of a humanity that was once more advanced, more connected, and perhaps more resilient than we are today. Mainstream archaeology might ignore these finds because they don't fit the logical flow of their textbooks. But here at Signal 49, we look at the evidence. What do you think? Was there a global civilization wiped out by a cataclysm? Or are we looking at the leftovers of visitors who weren't from here at all? Let me know your theories in the comments. I read every single one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.